What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Dreams to Reality podcast. And as you can already see, we are in a completely different location. Today we are in the center of Bristol in the Xite HQ. And today I've got a very, very special guest. I've got Oliver Bennett. And if you guys don't know who Ollie is a rally driver and also the director of this place here and the new energy drink called Xite. And of course I've done different things around energy drinks before. It has been a massive topic in schools, colleges, universities. So I'm really looking to dive into Ollie's story around how he's really become who he is now, not just through motocross and rallying, but also the whole kind of concept of his business and what he's trying to do and trying to achieve, because I think what you're doing right now is incredible. But anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. Thank you for having me. It looks great, the setup you've got here, so yeah, excited to get going.
Thanks to you, man. First, honestly, your HQ is unreal.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we were in a container 2 months ago, so we've moved in here pretty quickly. It was an old office building. We painted the walls, put some stickers up, wrapped some old desks, and it's come out looking great. So yeah, the team are buzzing to be in there and they're motivated to go, really.
So you said team. Is this all for the energy drink, or is it your rallying team, or are they in a complete different place?
Yeah, they're in a complete different place. So just in this office in Bristol is the energy team. There's about 10 of us now, a couple of guys, a few girls, a mix of marketing and sales and different bits. And then the racing team, actually where I live, or used to live, I should say, in the Forest of Dean. So
okay.
A little workshop there. It's actually where we built the car. The car's back there now where they do the maintenance and things on it before it flies to the next event or travels.
Amazing. So when was you in a container? When was you had your office in a container?
I think probably 2 months ago, engine shed down by Templemead. So they're cool little boxes because you just get a container empty and you're good to go, really.
So
but
how did you fit 10 people in a container?
we didn't fit 10 people in the container. No, it was me and my girlfriend Megan, who were the two founders of the business. And then shortly then we had Christy, lovely girl who joined on our marketing team. We were like the trio, I guess, in this little container. Then we had 2 people join quite quickly and realised we couldn't fit in this container.
Just developed, of course.
Yeah, just developed. It was sales, it was marketing, social media growth. We just couldn't fit in this, 40-foot box, basically. So we're like, right, we need to move out. We need something a bit better where we can grow from. This office is huge. It's too big for our team of 10, but
there's something a bit better than a container. I think you've achieved
that. Yeah, we stepped up a bit, quite a bit, I guess, but it gives us room to grow. So
awesome. So we're going to dive into your whole story. We're going to dive into this as well and why you're passionate about creating the energy drinks. But where did it all start for you? Because I know you started through motocross, is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so motocross was probably 10, 11. Got my first bike, just riding around fields.
Quite old, to be fair.
Probably quite old, yeah. I mean, there was kids when I was racing, sort of starting at like 4, 5, 6.
My cousin did, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, super young. And those kids know that they're super fast when they get older. So I had to learn quick. Every night after school, I would practice, literally every night. Even in the winter, I'd drive until it got dark. Built my own little tracks in fields and things so I could get permission off farmers to do different things. Me and my friends would just build tracks and ride, basically. Started racing, which that just continued as I got older. I got bigger bikes, faster bikes, this and that, and that just kept going then for 8 years, I think, until I went to university, and that's sort of when the racing stopped initially.
So did you ever, because you're racing pro now and rallying, did you ever consider trying to go pro with motocross, or was it too a far-fetched goal?
Yeah, it's one of those things. It was a goal of mine. Everything I do, I've got a tendency to get obsessed and want to do it 100%. That's sort of a trademark of mine, I guess, which is good.
If you guys can hear the back noise, we are in the centre of Bristol.
Yeah, right in the middle there. So.
Right in the middle, so that's what
why
the
they're
noise is.
Doing building work at 8:15, who knows, but someone signed it off. So, yeah, so I guess that's sort of where my motocross career went. And then, I would have loved to pursue it further, but I was getting to the age sort of 19, 20, looking at uni. You can hurt yourself bad in motocross. In my last year racing, I had a friend fell off in a race I was in with him, and we were messing around because we were quite quick at the time, so we were sort of messing around at the front, having fun. He unfortunately fell off and broke his back, so he really struggled with that, and he's just recovering now still. So that sort of was enough for me to hang my boots up and be like,
Yeah.
I've had a good go at this, but it's probably not my future.
Just happened recently actually, because my cousin was riding at Apex.
Yeah,
and
I used to ride there.
Yeah, so as once you get faster, obviously it gets a bit more dangerous, I guess. And one of his best friends who he races with, they're on a similar level, completely misjudged the jump, and he's paralysed now at the moment. They thought he wasn't going to walk again, but luckily already he's starting to get some feeling back. Yeah. So I think he will, but he's like 16.
It's the problem, and it doesn't matter how good you are in motocross.
16.
It's just like that though, and it can happen. Like one thing, and it can be another rider in your way, or you can't predict it. So. Yeah, that was enough for me.
So then you went to uni?
Yeah, went to uni.
Did you still ride or not really?
No, I just literally, I think for me, because I'm all or nothing, it was nothing. I couldn't just dabble at it.
What was you studying?
I'd done business and economics in Bristol, so not far away from here. It was sort of, I was going like most people probably into university, didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I liked business and that idea of it. I'd done a bit of it in sixth form. So I just went in and studied that deeper really. And like you do at most universities, just have a good time.
So is it safe to say that you was pretty good in school?
Actually not, no. I grew up in school and the teachers used to say I wasn't going to do very much. I got bad GCSEs because I could not really be bothered, if I'm honest. My attention span was nothing. And then I moved on to A-levels and I thought, I probably should take this a bit more seriously. And even the teachers then thought I was not going to do a lot with it, and I wouldn't do the homework, I'd mess around all day and not do a lot. And then I did manage in the sixth form side of it to get straight A's, which was a complete fluke. Well, I must have learned something, but I didn't think I was going to get straight A's. And then moved on to uni, so never really been academic, no.
Not really academic with straight A's, eh?
Yeah,
fair play. So you graduated from uni?
Yeah, graduated from uni, yeah.
And then what was happening?
Yeah, so uni, I fell into a different obsession, which was health and fitness. So that was my sort of 3-year obsession in uni, trying to get a six-pack and all the fun things that went. And it was sort of a change in trend, I guess, in that era where people were into health and fitness. It was quite a big thing. I was on that wave of it getting popular, I guess. Me and my friends would train together. And it was
there anything in particular about health and fitness? What was your kind of thing?
Not really. I got really into it to the point I started doing a nutrition degree alongside my main degree, because I thought, okay, I could do a career in this. I could help people train, help them eat better and live better. Then I guess my business mindset was like, well, can I make money out of this? Is it a career? It's tough. So I didn't take it too far. And I think that's probably around the time I fell on looking at supplements and energy drinks. I was consuming a lot of energy drinks myself, didn't particularly feel great for it. So I think that sort of started to stem this idea. At about the same time I was looking back into motorsport and could I do something with it. So
awesome. So how did you then fall into rallying?
Yes, that was a funny one really. I was...
Did you fall into it, or was you like, I want to go and try this?
No, I fell into it. I literally fell into it. So all my life I played games, Colin McRae games. I thought it would be my dream to be a rally driver. That is cool. But I thought, it's expensive. It's not really going to happen. So I finished uni. I was MD, managing director of a renewable energy company. So that's sort of where I went with my degree, and I had a really successful time in that when the tariffs were good for that sort of environment. So I was doing that, but I thought, I haven't got a hobby. I didn't replace fitness. I didn't replace the motocross side of it. So I was like, what can I do? And I found this. I fell into a friend actually who was into rallying. He had a guy who was selling a car quite cheap, an old Subaru, these sort of things you build yourselves. And I was like, I got a little bit of spare money saved up. I'm going to buy that. So I bought this Subaru, thinking I was going to be a rally driver, and it all stemmed from there. And that was probably 3 years ago.
So when I think of rallying, I normally think of going through country lanes and stuff like that, but you actually race on tracks, right?
No, well, the Subaru was for country lanes.
Okay.
It was that. I wrapped it around a tree a few times, scared myself proper. Realised it probably wasn't for me, mainly because it was different to motocross. You'd have to drive at like 80% to get to the finish the fastest, and it was over a long period. Whereas I was more like, just go flat out. Let's go. Like, we're going, the light's green, do you know what I mean? That didn't really work because there was a tree around the corner. So that wasn't for my sort of discipline, I guess. And then I stumbled on Rallycross, which was identical to motocross, apart from 4 wheels. It was a certain amount of laps. You all start in a line. You all head for the first corner. and it's whoever comes out in front wins. So to me, it was like motocross on 4 wheels, and I fell in love with it then, really.
Bro, you literally travel all over the world with it.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I think this year we've done 10 events, 3 continents. There's probably like 5 in Europe, and then we go Canada, South Africa, all over.
Just for everybody at home, it's the art of persistence. I don't know how many messages I've sent you.
Yeah.
I've sent you so many messages on LinkedIn and also on Instagram. Can we do this date? Can we do that date? And to be fair, you got back to me every single time, but you're like, bro, I'm going to Canada on Friday.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like you was saying, oh, I'm going to Canada. It's like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And you're literally going to Canada, you travel everywhere.
It's crazy to look, and it's crazy to see that I can do that, because it was a dream of mine as a kid, playing these games. But it's hard to balance, I guess, the energy drink, that business, and the racing career. Because like you said, I book meetings back to back until I get on the plane, try and close the laptop and not think about work till I land again the other side. So yeah, it's tough.
Because I've seen you recently when you did get back and you was back, you landed somewhere else, I think.
So it's Canada actually. Overnight flight, I did not sleep a wink, which was a pain, and then landed, had no clothes, nothing to wash. I had to get some, your essentials from a shop and buy a shirt and things, and straight to a meeting up north that morning. So that's the sort of thing that happens even now for France. I got a meeting the day I fly to France. So it's tough to juggle, but you've just got to balance your time and know when to stop, really.
Do you know when to stop?
That's probably I don't know, do you? I think when you get addicted by something and you want to do the best you can you stop? I don't know. Not at this age, anyway.
Do you think you appreciate the journey though? Do you think like, wow, I'm in Canada, or is it just like you're just so focused on the next thing?
No, I think I can enjoy it more than I'd say most in the motorsport arena, mainly because there's a lot of pressure. Some of them have some big corporate sponsors or some manufacturer sponsorship. There's a lot of pressure on the performance.
You sponsor yourself?
Yeah, so obviously Xite is my main sponsor, which is...
people can't say that, bro.
No, and I guess that takes the pressure off, because if I perform badly, when I get it's my fault, isn't it? Which is easier.
Awesome. So I'm just looking at your page, even your YouTube and stuff now. When... You say you have a huge amount of things you need to balance, right? You also got a personal life. So how do you balance it? Because I see you also out walking your dogs. When I first met you, the first thing what kind of caught my attention is actually how relaxed you are.
Yeah.
How do you take everything in your stride? Is that a little bit of a front? Do you behind the scenes you're a bit more stressed? What do you do to look after yourself? How can you manage it all?
Because don't sleep, I guess. But no, I guess I am very laid back. I think that's one thing people notice. I'm very chilled. It takes a lot for me to get stressed about much. Mainly because I think what I can control, I will, and what I can't. So I'm very much of that mindset that if I run out of time, I've run out of time. Yeah. And let's get done what I can in the period, I guess. And yeah, it's tough to balance social life. I guess I haven't really had what you call a traditional social life for probably the last couple of years. Don't really go out on weekends, don't really get to spend the time I should with friends. Because really, I guess the little bit of spare time I do get to spend with my girlfriend. But
I would say I'm similar, right? Especially for my journey. When I was 21, I'm heavily dyslexic, and I wanted to do what I'm doing now. And I know a way to kind of overcome that. You can tell by the way I was speaking, everything in my processing. So I needed to work on it. So instead of going out in town, say Friday and Saturday night, I was up reading. Yeah. And at the time, I wanted to do that. I loved the process, but everybody older was like, "You need to enjoy yourself more." For sure. No, I don't want to. So
I think it comes back to what do you enjoy, isn't it?
And do you think your friends understand? So I got about 3-4 real close friends. We barely see each other, but the truth is we understand. We're all on our own kind of journey.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think you kind of attract your friend group, don't you?
You do, and hey, you always get the mates you're mates with for a good laugh, and they're like, "Oh, you're boring. You don't come out." And like, "Oh yeah, whatever, mate. I'm busy." Yeah. But, hey, that's part of it, isn't it? You just got to enjoy the moment with them, and then
So at what point? When did you start rallying?
Oh,
officially
5 years ago, I guess.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
When did you officially put pen to pad about the energy drink?
I would say 2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago.
Yeah, 2.5 years ago. Yeah.
At what point did you think, okay, because there's a lot of competition out there for energy drinks.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention them now, they don't deserve it.
Don't give them brand awareness. They got enough of it anyway.
Yeah, but what most people would think, wow, like it's a red market.
Yeah, for sure it
It's
is.
and the reason why I'm talking about this is because I'm already seeing the movements you're making already.
Yeah.
And I'm actually looking at my Instagram and thinking, wow, how is this happening so soon and already?
For sure.
And I think it just shows your work rate. I think it shows your level of consistency. But you put pen on pad 2.5 years ago. What was the first step for you to say, okay, I got this idea, how do I take it to the next level?
Yeah, I guess initially the idea was, it was really simple for me especially. I would drink a lot of energy drinks. I would feel pretty crappy after drinking them. And I would also be wary of what was in them while I was drinking them. And it was literally a simple case of thinking, can't these be done better? Can they not be healthy and have a fun brand and taste great all at the same time? Is this just the sort of, the impossible thing that doesn't exist? So I explored that. And to be fair, I got it wrong a few times. The first drink we made, it's on the wall stuck out there, my first failure, was, it was healthy, but it did taste crap. So I thought, okay, there's the answer then, this isn't possible. But we thought, let's try again, let's go again. And then the next time it was in a can and it tasted better. The brand wasn't quite right at the time. I think we had like a Green X or something. It was a bit off. The brand wasn't quite there, but the drink started to taste great and the performance was great. You could drink it, you'd feel great for 6 hours. You didn't get a crash. You felt good drinking it because you knew it was better for you. So I was like, okay, we've got something here. And this was at the same period the fitness, health and wellness trend was growing. So I was like, right, I'm not the only one that wants this better for you product, this better for you energy drink. Something you can consume and not feel guilty about, but also get the performance from. And I'm like, right, there's a trend here. So I guess this links back to my business degree, I guess. I was like, right, there's something I like and I want, and I'm a consumer of these things.
Yeah.
And there's something I can't buy, and I've sort of made something here that I would buy. So I thought, well, there's bound to be, the gyms are getting crammed, there's a gym opening every week in a different corner, there's bound to be more people like me. And I think that's really where we stumbled across and went fully in, I guess, 8 months ago with this product, where, right, the brand looks great, whatever we put the sticker on, people love it. Wherever people see the brand, they're like, oh my God, is this like a huge brand? Where's it sold? And I think that just boosted the confidence.
The energy you need without the chemicals you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
You're firing a lot of shots there, bro.
We're firing shots, yeah. Even this one, it's a big one. It's clearly better. And the clear is blue for a reason. There's no colouring in the drinks. When you pour it out, it comes out, I guess, looking like...
And looking on the website now, it's lots of fruit. It's showing a lot of...
Yeah. That really is the basis of the drink. It's a simple concept, a better for you energy drink, and that's its clearly better concept. It's got no colouring, no taurine, no preservatives. So they're the three we wanted to get rid. And then we thought, well, how do we create the energy? So we use natural caffeine. So the caffeine is from green coffee bean, which is it actually works quite different in your system. It stays in your system longer in effect, so you don't get that crash feeling. And then we even went a step further. I was into supplements at the time. I'm thinking in Silicon Valley, they're taking smart drugs. The film came out Limitless, you could just do anything forever. I was like, okay, well, what are these ingredients? And we explored those a bit as far as we could. And we thought, right, we can pair some unique ingredients, which is ginseng, L-tyrosine and L-carnitine, with the natural caffeine to create pretty much what we thought was the holy grail. So it tasted great, which I guess that is... this is our feedback, it tastes great, it's not just my idea. Then the functionality, they're called nootropics, which is a funny word, but it's Greek for mind turning. So we had, better for you flavours, nootropics and natural caffeine for the focus and the energy. And then obviously the brand, because you've got to have a killer brand because people want to get involved.
And you do definitely have that. And if I'm being completely honest, it tastes really good.
Yeah.
But did you have to get any type of clearance for this? What is the process to release an energy drink?
Yeah, it's long process. So we actually went on a few consultancy days to learn how do you make beverages, and how do you source ingredients, and what's the compliance guidelines.
Did you get external help from other
external
people?
help initially, and then we learned enough that we could do it ourselves. And sort of the legalities around labelling, and we've had some cans that were labelled wrong. We just had to forget about those. So we've made mistakes. like you said, it's a red industry. It's tough. Not only are we up against huge brands, we're up against huge promotional budgets, huge activations. So we've found a niche, but our niche is growing, and it's probably something like we like to say. We want to bring in new consumers to the energy drink category. Definitely. Because say you didn't drink one because you thought it was healthy, bad for you, full of rubbish, didn't taste great. Or we're like, well, right, here's something that's different. It is an energy drink. Yes, it gives you energy, but we're not that category. With this new, I guess we call it new energy.
And I guess people look at energy drinks in a bad light, but then they go to Costa and they have about 3 or 4 coffees a day. So it's I hate coffee.
Yeah.
So I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
So this could be seen as another kind of
the caffeine in it is from green coffee bean. So it's very much like a double espresso, but it's fruity and bubbly, I guess.
Obviously, I don't know a huge amount about it, but I think that's good because I really want you to get your story out there, and I want to understand this for even people who's watching at home, whether it's teachers, whether it's young people, whether it's old people. I think a lot of people can learn from you, just even about the product as well, which is amazing. But let's talk a little bit about the business side. Where do you make it a drink?
Yeah.
Do you have to import it in? Where is it made? And how did you learn to do any of that? And I remember back in the day when I was in uni, I had a bit of a clothing brand.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get it overseas because it was cheaper. And the work what went into it.
Oh, yeah, man.
The success rate was crap.
Yeah.
No, it just wasn't working.
No.
So how do you overcome that?
I guess just hours of nights of research and digging and bringing people in and going to people. Good advice, bad advice. We've seen it all and we've had it all, I guess. And it took a lot to navigate that arena. But I guess a lot of it is common sense to a large extent. But what's different in the beverage industry is the barriers to entry are huge. And they're probably huge for a reason. But say to get a can printed properly on metal, there's a minimum you can produce, which is something like 150,000 minimums. So this again is the barriers. You've then got to fill these cans. Who fills them? So where do you go? How do you get it filled? All the prices vary from like a few pence to fill it to 50p to fill it. It's a minefield, and it takes a lot to learn. And I think that's why it's what you call a red industry, I guess, where it's so difficult to enter. And I think it is for those reasons that a lot don't and a lot can't. So I think that's.
But that's where I think there's opportunity for somebody like yourself and this company here who are young, hungry, and ready to take on the game. You've done it your whole life.
Yeah.
So
it's all on big risk.
Instead of seeing these 2, 3 or 4 big companies, instead like there's no point because they own it. Do you know what? There's space for somebody to come in there. And for those bigger companies, it's so hard for them to move. Where at the moment you can be boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, it's exactly what we thought. I mean, we knew we couldn't make a Red Bull and try and sell it, which companies have tried to do, and they fail for the right reasons. They've copied something and made a Me Too product. We knew some really fundamentals. It couldn't be Me Too. It had to be different, and it had to serve a purpose, which was it needs to be better for you. And on that instance, it had to be something they could get involved in the brand and also like the product, like we know, like you're doing with your career. It's about telling stories, and your brand needs to tell that story. And I think without having a brand and the product together, it's difficult to do that. But it's a tough industry for sure. But I think there is a gap for this sort of thing, and that's
100%. So let me play completely dumb now. Energy drinks are bad for you. Why should I promote an energy drink? Not just me, but in general.
Yeah.
Why should I say, if I go into a school and a head teacher says energy drinks are bad, what could my argument be? And why is yours different? You've already mentioned quite a lot already, especially with your logos and your slogans. It says it for itself.
Yeah, for sure.
But how do you think our society can change its perception on energy drinks? Because people think, I've seen a guy walk down the road with a Monster can, he must be a dick.
Yeah, exactly. And do you know, this is our challenge over the next 6 months as a brand, to say, how do we convince people that maybe haven't drunk energy drinks before that it isn't bad for you and it can serve a purpose in your life. Maybe you want that boost for the afternoon or the morning, whatever it is. And how do you convey that story, I guess? And for us, it's about, it's natural ingredients with natural caffeine, natural flavours, no preservatives, no taurine, nothing that you would inherently think is bad for you. It tastes good. It's really pulling that in. And yes, it's got caffeine, right? So caffeine is in coffee, it's in everything. Would you drink 10 cups of coffee a day? Probably not. You'd have the shakes. Likewise, I wouldn't tell you to... And something else, yeah, exactly. And you know, it's the same in moderation episode again, I guess. It's like, don't drink 10 for sure. But if you were going to have 2 of these or 2 Monsters, I'd say drink this any day. But that's...
Say like a Monster's got what, 200 grams of... Is it 200 grams or 200?
Yeah, I mean, all energy drinks vary. I think, you know, your Red Bull's on the lower end between 80-ish, and then I think some of the bigger cans can get up to like 160
How much
milligrams.
do you, what's like the normal amount for somebody? What's the recommended amount?
I mean, coffees are between 80 to like Starbucks can get up to like 250 milligrams of caffeine in a big one. So it does vary. But I mean, caffeine is not the, you know, it's a stimulant in effect. And that's why we pair it with ginseng and L-tyrosine and L-carnitine to try and mitigate the stimulant effects so you don't get shaky and things.
Let's talk a little bit about the moderation side of it, because I think that's a great point, and people don't it annoys me, right? Because if you become reliant on caffeine, let's just talk about caffeine in general.
Yeah, well, I'm addicted to caffeine, but
you know, but that can sometimes cause its own challenges.
Exactly, yeah.
But I think what caffeine needs to be used, especially what I think you are promoting, is that it should be used as a performance. There's nothing wrong with caffeine.
Yes. No, exactly. And this is what I noticed when I was drinking energy drinks in the past with synthetic caffeines and things. I'd have a big spike and a crash, and I started like researching like cortisol and stress hormones and all that. I'm like, are these making me stressed? And then I'm feeling crap. And I think it is that thing again with why the natural caffeine helps. It's in your system. It's not a massive spike and then it's out. It's just a vague lift. Like a coffee, it's a vague mood lifter, and it makes you feel better for a few hours. So I think that's the difference with this, is you can drink a couple of them and feel great, and not feel after like, oh, that was a bit sickly and a bit, you know, you don't feel great.
The cans are quite not small, but
small.
To like,
it's small. So basically,
like Monsters and stuff.
Yeah, so Monster's 500 ml. Ours is 330, and a Red Bull is 250. So they just.
Would you ever consider going to a bigger?
Not really, and we get asked this, and the reason being is, and again, this is from consumer research and our own research, is can you drink 500 ml of a sweet liquid? And we're less sweet than, you know, your typical energy drinks, but I would say not. And I think our consumers, especially in fitness, resonated with that, you know, they don't want to drink a 500 ml can and then go to the gym. So that's really where the can size came about. Okay,
so you mentioned gym. What is your target market?
Yeah.
Is it rally? Is it sport? Everyday people? What would you say your target market is?
Yeah,
because looking at the branding, obviously looking at you, you're a fit guy, like you're active.
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of the top rally drivers in the world, like racing. Like, what is your target market? Are you fed by the idea of feeding people actually healthy energy drinks instead of all the...
Literally, our fundamental strategy is we want you to feel better. And this is our whole premise of the brand. It's you either drink energy drinks and you want something that's better for you, or maybe you don't drink energy drinks, but you're like, if there was one that was a bit better for you, you would try it and see. And we just want, whether you're in sports, you're in the office and you need to, you know, get some work done, or you just, whatever you do, you drive a lorry, whatever. We just want you to be able to drink something that makes you feel better and you can perform better in that instance. So that's really our driver. Yeah, I'm a rally driver, so for me, performance is key. It's Informed Sports registered, so athletes can drink it. Also, I get drug tested, which is a part of...
You get drug tested, do you?
Yeah. We're part of the FIA World Rallycross series, so it's a sporting level, I guess, where you do get drug tested. I'm not sure what drugs would benefit me racing a car. Yeah, can you imagine, like, holding on to the wheel? I guess who knows? But yeah, we do. So I think...
Can
you imagine?
Just go!
There's probably some other things that they would take, but... I think it's about making people feel better in their instance of performance, whether you need to smash something out on the laptop, lift some weights, go for a run. And our marketing to date, has been a lot around the racing because I get exposure in it. But I think moving forward now with Xite, you're going to see a lot more diversity in our sports, diversity in characters within our brand, and we're going to start introducing some of the team and how do they use this drink in their daily life.
You thought about sponsoring like a motivational speaker at all?
Well, you know, I do love a bit of motivation. Xite, yeah, do you know what I mean?
Powered by Xite.
Yeah. Well, that's just your episode would be finished though, because there's all the motivation you need right there in the can.
So let me ask you, Be honest with me, bro. Like, is rallying a passion of yours now? Because just talking to you beforehand and this conversation goes over to business again.
Yeah.
I see that you're hungry for the business. I see that you're passionate about this brand. I see you're passionate about everything it stands for. Is rallying just a bit of fun for you? I don't want to say fun because you're at such a high level.
Yeah.
But does it still kind of give you that same excitement? Does it drive
gives,
you? Or do you see it as a form to grow this?
I think a mix. Like, it's great for my personal brand, and it goes back to the motocross thing. I think part of the reason I'm so relaxed is it takes a lot to get me buzzing. Motocross done that because you're flying.
But
unless I drink one of these. But no, do you know what? A bike flying over a big jump gets you excited. Yeah. Racing these cars at 600 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, that gets you buzzing. It's a true passion, yeah. And you couldn't do motorsport, I don't think, unless you were passionate, because it's hard work. It looks great, doesn't it? The 2 minutes of racing the car looks like the best thing you've ever seen. But we're working day in and day out to get there. The boys are flat in there fixing the car. I'll be straight off this Saturday now to race this week and then on to France. So it is super fun, but it's a lot of work. And that's
I feel somewhat grateful for this opportunity anyway, is because the fact that I know you are busy. I mean, we started this at 7:30 in the morning, or just after that.
Yeah, early morning.
And you've got a whole team behind you. Okay, you got 10 people here, but then also with your rallying team, you've got another team there.
Yeah, for sure.
Your production, your service, your delivery, just everything, man. Your organisation must be pretty on it, or you must have somebody, I don't know, some like old lady.
It's my girlfriend, that is, yeah.
Your girlfriend, just boom. How do you get to that level, right? So how would you get? What advice would you give somebody if they had a business idea? It wouldn't even have to necessarily be a business idea, but how do you go from point A to point B?
Yeah, I think.
From pen and pad to
paper, I think really start with truths. So I would go back almost as far as what do you want to do? And if I'm honest, craziest business ever to make money. This almost the biggest risk you could take. I'm sure I can make some money elsewhere.
Of course.
Probably more consistently and easier. But I think you've got to do something you really are passionate about. I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about racing. So it's almost makes it easier for you to then see everything's a step in it. You're not going to go from there to there straight away. Like I didn't go from hobby rally driver to FIA World Rallycross overnight. There were steps along the way, and I had to learn the process. And like a business, you've got to learn what you enjoy and learn the process. Like you've been through a similar journey with the podcast. You started off, like you said, a little bit nervous about speaking and things, and you grow. Each step seems like a huge victory, but in isolation, they are victories. But it builds up, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
So yesterday, mate. Right? I think I used to do a radio on Eugene Radio in St. Paul's here.
Yeah.
And even talking on radio, talking to video was much different to talking in front of a crowd. And obviously, I told you yesterday, like, bro, for me, like, yesterday was a huge win. I was doing Virgin Media, my first ever kind of corporate event. You had a mixed bag in that room, you know.
Yeah, I can
people
imagine.
Who are much older, people who walk in and straight away you can see they're like,
what's going on?
You know. And to be honest,
embrace that,
when I first took the booking, I was a bit nervous, like, oh, holy crap, like this is an opportunity.
Yeah.
But then actually when I walked into the building, I obviously had a little bit of butterflies.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was like, I've been doing this for 7 years now.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
And it's like
when
preparation meets opportunity, you get success.
Exactly.
And I don't want to be cliche because I'm not really that type of person, but they say it's better to be prepared for an opportunity you do not have yet than have an opportunity and not be prepared.
Yeah.
So I see on Instagram you doing stuff with Holland and Barrett at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, so I mean, that was our big win, I guess, and that's when all the teams sort of were like, right, we've got something here. They were a huge tick in the box for us because they're the biggest health food retailer in the UK.
Do they have any other energy drinks there?
So they have a really strict criteria for drinks.
So you've hit it.
Super strict, yeah. I mean, they got this red list basically of things that are no-goes. In traditional energy, your Red Bulls, your Monsters wouldn't pass this list.
Edit that out. Beep, beep.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So we managed to get into that store, and they've really backed us, which is great. They've put us in 600 stores nationwide. It started off talking like 100, 200 stores, and then they could see what they were doing. They could see
Has that happened yet?
Yeah, it's happening. So it went live a week ago, and literally it's been crazy, mate. We were in London all week last week. The whole team stayed in London for a week sampling, which is hard work. Like we were up like 7 till 7 every day sampling, giving cans away.
Sampling, what is that?
So basically, we would go to the Honda and Barrett stores all around London and just give people shots, let them try it, introduce the brand, tell them a bit about us. And the response has been crazy. I didn't realise how big our brand was. I don't think up and down the UK, we've literally sold out in Holland and Barrett stores in a week. And we had a really nice email yesterday, which I think all the girls sort of give them a bit of butterflies. We had an email from Holland and Barrett saying, like, guys, you've smashed it this week. With the sales are crazy for a new brand. We've never seen this. And I think for us, that's been another, like, your talk yesterday, man. It's another step that you'll look back on and go, that was that it, or is the next step it? Who knows?
That just shows you the level of hard work, man. You're 26 years old, and for you to break Holland and Barrett's, no money can do that.
No.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
no matter
yeah.
who you are, if your product is not right, you will not be able to tick that box.
No, exactly.
So,
and that's been a massive one for us because it gives the credibility on the brand in all the other sides. So, yeah, we're super excited for that.
So for me, I just think, as you said, there's a whole kind of stepping stone process. So you just started with, say, motocross. You had somewhat of vision around all motorsports in general, even UFC, fighting. Now you see they're sponsored by these big energy drinks. I think I probably know the answer, but why? Couple questions, right? Why would you say these companies look at these sports to do it? Why do they tick the criteria? And really, is there actually Monster in the drinks they've got, or is it like water or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny one, isn't it? I think...
Couple questions there.
Yeah, I mean, I think for athletes, we're all aware of what we're drinking, right? And I think we all care, especially athletes, they care about their bodies. So, are they behind these brands for the right reasons? It's hard to know. And I think that's where, with Xite, we want to find people that want to join the story. They may not be the biggest athletes or the craziest sports.
Like, motivational speakers with 6,000 followers on Instagram.
But I told you, mate, we've got the answer right there. Do you know what I mean? So,
awesome, man. Awesome.
No, I'll give you some free drinks for sure. But
this is the only drink. Like, it's the only one you get just for the podcast.
Exactly, man. They got to be in all your episodes now. You do realise. So I think, hey, it's a mixed bag, isn't it? But we want people to join the journey who are passionate about doing something different. And I think we'll get that passion. People love an underdog, and that's exactly what we are. So,
bro, I'm not just saying it because obviously just a bit of banter, but I do really, really feel like you've got something here. And you mentioned it earlier. I said, what about like the school market? And what did you say to me when I said about the school market? What's the big restriction there?
Yeah, so I mean, we're huge in universities. We're in the 25 biggest campus universities. They're our best sellers. In students,
really?
we are the top 3 energy drink in universities, especially zero sugar ones. But yeah, schools are... It's a strange one because I guess there's been this political movement that kids drink loads of energy drinks. And I'm sure they do to a large extent. And yeah, there was a lot of sugar in some energy drinks. So of course, yeah, that's not great for you, is it? Loads of sugar all the time. But I think again, it's this moderation thing, especially if you're over 16. We don't sell to under 18s, which is sort of the guidelines. But I guess it's this thing in moderation. If they can drink a triple espresso Starbucks Frappuccino with 700 calories of sugar, then yeah, is a better for you energy drink or different drinks going to be a problem? Probably not. It's moderation again.
I've seen kids come into class and they have energy drinks in their bag. They're not supposed to. But and they're consuming 2, 3, 4 a day.
Yeah.
And
I think this is the problem.
Just because there's an age limit on it now, there's a restriction in school, isn't going to stop you from drinking it, really. Parents,
it probably makes it worse, because what do you want to do when you're a kid and you're told not to drink something?
It's like when
you buy more.
12 years old playing on Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah,
It's 18, you should be playing.
Of course you do.
You still want to run someone over.
I guess the only thing I agree with in the restrictions is, can they do the moderation part? Which I guess when you're younger, it's hard to moderate, isn't it? It's just more. So I think I can see that reason. Maybe they could just limit, they can only buy 1 a day. I don't know how you do it, but I can see reasons, but I don't know how you overcome it as such.
So let's talk a bit about money and the business side of it. Where do you make most of your money? Because I've heard different people say if you get your drink in big retailers, there's not actually that much money in it.
Yeah.
Is that true, or is it just literally done on quantity. So really, if you are selling out Holland and Barrett's, there is the money.
Yeah.
But if you just go into one store, there's probably not.
It's a volume business. Like we got to print and fill 150,000 cans at a time. You need to sell them like in a week. Do you know what I mean? So the more doors, the more times you can sell them. I think it's Coke, the slogan, this sort of thing. Obviously, like we want a can in every door, because if you can walk in and you can see it, you can buy it. It's just upsell, isn't it? Yeah, some stores do cost you money to be in because of the advertising budgets you need to do. Some stores you might be in and not make any money, but it gives the brand awareness and the awareness, and people can pick it up and try it, and in other stores you will make money. So it's a mixed bag, but really this is the toughest thing for us as a new brand, is distribution. We can control our product, our brand, we can control the consumer's view on us and make people get super excited about this, but if they can't walk in their local shop and buy it, we've lost. So that's the thing, that the next barrier to entry for us is distribution. Because
have you had opportunities and you've not been at the level of it? So for example, it's like a bottleneck. So Holland and Barrett said, listen, good, send over 500,000 cans. And you're like, holy shit, that's going to take us 2 months to get. Or I don't know how the process works. But have you experienced any bottlenecks, and has that been frustrating, especially if you see
We have, I mean, it's something we do. A few different types of sales. So we do our internal sales with vans, which is guys on the road selling to independents. Then we do our retail-led approach, and then we got our online sales. The hardest thing to balance is forecasting production, because you have a load of cans in one go, and they've got 18 months sale by dates, or use by dates, I guess you'd call it. But of course, you've got the retailer wants to accept the goods on 12 months. So really, you've got a 4-month window that you need to sell all of those 150,000 cans, I guess, or 300,000, 500,000 cans, however many you produce. So it's tough to get the forecasting right, because the fillers are busy, they take 6 weeks to fill it, we've got to get printing done to actually tie all that in so that it's it's ready at the right time for a Holland and Barrett is tough. And that, I'm sure we're going to end up hiring someone to even help cover that aspect.
I want to make sure I hit all different criteria. Some people are not going to be that interested in the business side of it, even though I find it fascinating. What car do you drive on a day-to-day basis, mate? I'm just fascinated.
Vans, mate.
You drive a van? And you drive like an ass?
Pretty much. You seen the Xite van out there, pretty much that every day. And now I drive steady on the road, mate.
Yeah.
Always within the law.
Until he gets...
Until you drink too much of this.
Then he starts flying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, what's that? Is that me?
That's me. Silence.
Where is that coming from?
I don't know, I've put it on my computer somewhere, because this is on mute, but obviously computer.
You can take it if you need to.
No, I don't know who that is, mate.
Okay, so how do you practice rally?
Is it? Oh, it's 9 o'clock. We got to wake the office up. I don't know where this is coming out of, to be honest.
This is basically you in the office.
No, it's not. Okay, I listen to cool music.
Did you get what I mean with technology these days?
No. Well, who is that? Justin Bieber?
If you just press switch off on the speaker, I guess the office is waking up. I tell you, we've got to motivate the employees on a morning, haven't we? Do you know what I mean?
But there is a motivational speaker.
Oh yeah, we should do like a little class for them all. Do you know what I mean?
So, is he dancing or is he turning it off? Enzo! There you go.
There you go. We've got it.
We don't need to cut that. Keep it in. Why not?
It's a bit of a vibe, isn't it?
Of course. So, when do you practice rally?
To be honest, you don't. If I'm honest, I mean, we've got a partnership with Codemasters, where we've got these VR simulators and Playseat, where we can basically virtually drive the exact cars on the exact tracks. That's super good to learn lines and things. The tracks are really realistic now, so you can learn when you're going, the dynamics of racing, and even keep your motor skills fresh. But in terms of practicing, it's expensive. It costs a lot of money to run the cars, even to do something like go-karting, which a lot of people do go-karting because it's the cheapest way to get some seat time. But that's not cheap. And then time. When do you find the time? So I think for me, that's the biggest balance, is how can I balance training with business, with life? And it's a mixture of those. They're my 3 triangles, I guess.
Yeah, because you can't just really pick up your car and just chuck it down some lanes.
No, exactly. No, you need a track, and Yeah, it just doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't really happen. We literally, and this is the tough thing in Rallycross. We get 4 laps to warm up, so 8 laps total in practice. So you've got 8 laps to pretty much get on the pace.
How many races?
We do 4 qualifiers, semi-final and a final.
Okay.
So that's our weekend over 2 days. But of course, yeah, I'm against drivers that it is their full-time job driving, and they're in the week testing and racing and rallying all through the week. And they come there on the weekend and they're ready to go out the box. Poof, off they go. So I've got to be like, okay, put the laptop down. Okay, I'm in a race car. Okay, I need to be as fast as these. Some of them are world champions in different disciplines. I've got to be as fast as them within 8 laps. And to actually even be as close as we are is pretty crazy, really. So, yeah.
So, have you won any races yet?
Yeah, so in the British Rallycross, my first year, I won 7 podiums, 7 out of 9 events in my first year. And then we've won a couple of those British races this year. And then I'm in what's now the FIA World Rallycross. Pretty much the top 8 is taken for. They're the factory cars, factory teams, factory drivers. Us private cars and private teams can't really touch the top 8 all the time. It's tough, do you know what I mean?
Motorsport.
It's most motorsport. It's you build and you build, but we're going up and up.
But do you think, like, if it was your only commitment, the only thing you had to focus on, you'd probably break that top 8?
Yeah, for sure. Because what would you do? You go karting, you practicing.
Everything would be
designed for that, fitness
you might
and all
not
that.
be necessarily the top 8, but bro, look what you're building.
Yeah, no, exactly. And to be fair,
this is here in 10 years. Being an athlete necessarily won't be.
No, and I think that's the thing I realised with motorsport is, did I want to double down in that and be my obsession and really push that, which, yes, a dream, but I was also well aware there's thousands of racing drivers that can't make a career out of it. So I think for me it was balancing two passions.
How did you get good at it?
I don't actually know. I know I used to I used to buy these, me and my friends used to buy like £80 cars from the scrapyards when we were young and race them basically and bash into each other. I think that I learned how to drive a car when I was super young, like 8. We race cars around fields, so I think you just pick it up. I guess there's a natural side to it as well, but yeah.
Right, I asked this question to all my guests. If you could sit down with any 3 people, dead or alive.
Yeah. I've never been asked this.
What 3 people? I never tell anyone I'm going to ask them.
No.
But any 3 people, dead or alive.
Do you know, I've got a massive thing at the minute for Elon Musk.
Okay.
Just because I'm super fascinated. I've never met a guy that's been able to change more than one industry. Because you get, I guess another one is Steve Jobs for making these things. But so he made these things and that's like revolutionised the industry in the world. But it's almost like Elon Musk done PayPal, which was crazy because you could now do online payments. We were all happy to do it. And then he done obviously Tesla, which was another like crazy. Everyone's going to be in electric cars in the next 2 years. Even the World Rallycross is going electric, and it's all probably stemmed from Elon Musk. And then he's building rockets and making NASA look a bit slow. So I think that is crazy how he's done that. And now he's got this Neuralink, the things that goes in your brain and connect you to your.
So Elon Musk is one.
Elon Musk is probably
even though
my number
I've
one.
seen his conversation with Joe Rogan in it.
Yeah. When he got that,
bizarre, man.
Smoking that.
He's like talking. He's like yes, and he's like moving things around as he's talking.
Everyone's like, oh, he's an alien. I'm like, I can see why you'd say that.
Yeah, like it's bizarre, man.
It is bizarre.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating.
I love people like Mavericks. There's people who I love it, man.
Yeah, no, I love it.
So that's number
it's
1.
Great. That's number 1. I think another guy I actually watch a lot.
Is Cameron Parker?
No, actually.
No.
No.
Okay, it's all good.
I'm now gonna watch it a lot then. No, to be fair, I've watched all of yours at the minute. I think they're great. I think to do what you do and build a natural conversation with people over loads of different disciplines is super tough.
It's just what we're trying to do. It's the same as you, bro. It's the hunger.
It must be hard to learn those.
And I think
naturally flow a convo. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's just trying to understand. We're gonna make mistakes, man. We're gonna. I'm 27. You're 26.
Yeah.
We're going to make mistakes, man. What do we really know? But sometimes that ignorance is such a blessing.
For sure.
Because we're going to do it. I'm going to go and take on the biggest energy drink
next
company
Joe Rogan, do you know what I mean?
In the world. I'm going to go and do it. That's what you say.
Yeah,
That's what you have said. You've put that idea down on paper and you've already started to execute it. And on top of that, you've already achieved things people have not achieved within the industry. You got into one of the... When it's in Holland and Barrett's, right, it already ticks that box that, you know what, it's everything you say it is.
Yeah.
It's the health it is.
Yeah, for sure.
It brings that same energy and it is actually not bad for you, and that is people's perceptions on energy drinks.
Yeah.
You've done that.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's likewise with what you've done. It's the first step's always the hardest, isn't it? And then you get going and it builds from there. I think that is really important for people to try and work out, I guess.
So number 2.
Number 2. Do you know Marcus Brownlee on YouTube? He's a big tech reviewer.
Marcus Browning, I don't. But
I'm quite into tech, so I think I'd meet him just because he seems to know everything about it.
Marcus.
I spend way too much of my leftover money on technology.
Like what? Give me an example.
Just like stupid phones, and I've just bought a new phone. I don't know, just tech, mate.
Okay, I've seen.
Cameras I can't turn on.
This guy?
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's it. Can you help me turn this camera? Hey, to be fair, you said you got people do the same for you.
Well,
So
I'm exactly the same.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
do you know what? Like, to be fair, before Gadget Line, before
Yeah.
The Apprentice, I used to think I was good with it.
yeah,
And I sent something to my friend, one of my best friends. He's like, "Bro, that is shit." And he goes, "Let me give it to somebody I know to
You
like
can
change
have
it
it
for
do,
you."
yeah.
And at the time, I was hurt. Like, no, I know I can do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And I thought to myself, "Is my time? I can do it,
yeah, for sure.
but it would take me 10 hours, and it would
To
take the
figure
guy
it
1
out,
hour."
exactly, mate.
Just give it to the professional.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. You've got to work out what you're good at.
So we got Marcus Browning,
Yeah, tech reviewer.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, and I think probably third on the list, just because it's topical, and I think it would be like a really interesting cup of tea, is Boris Johnson. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Can you imagine the sort of... I've sideswiped you now, haven't I? Yeah. See how you do with that one.
I thought you were going to say somebody like Colin McRae or, Boris Johnson.
I've gone with it, mate. You've got to deal with that one.
So what did you ask him? First I know you put a can in his hand.
I put a can in his hand for sure. Make sure he drinks it on telly or something. But I just find him quite funny. I'd like to know how have you ended up Prime Minister.
How did you do
How
it?
did you do
I
it?
am mind blown.
Yeah, because if I find out how you've done that, I can pretty much do anything. Do you know what I mean? For sure. I do like the guy though. Have you seen that video when he comes out with the reporters and he's like trying to hand them cups of teas? I'm like, that is what a
You see
lad.
when he rugby tackles an 8-year-old kid?
Yeah. And have you seen him try and kick that ball? Was it throw something into a hoop? Oh, it's good fun.
Do you know what though? It's quite nice you said that, because people are just so cut up on politics, man. It's just
It is
just
funny.
relax.
Yeah, exactly.
What happens, and I think you have to be a person who can adapt and change
Yeah.
to whatever happens in the world. Something might
exactly.
not go right in the business. What do? Do you just say I'm going to stop trying,
Yeah.
or do you carry on moving forward?
Yeah, and it's a bit like we've got now with if Brexit happens, if it doesn't, whatever. But even with our energy drinks, of course, we import them from abroad. We get them made abroad. And even we've had the trouble, like, do we make extra in case we can't get it here in time? But then if we make extra and it goes past the sale by date, what do we do? So it does throw questions up, but you just overcome them, don't you, I
But
think?
at the same time, if you're bringing thousands and thousands of pounds worth of business over, they're still going to want your business.
Exactly, yeah.
Brexit,
It's all going to... It's going
be
to
an extra
move
bit
on.
of paper to sign.
Exactly, that's what it'd be, another form to fill out and off you go.
But yeah, what's next for you? What is next?
I guess we've got a 5-year plan for the drink, which I want to see through, which is where we're aiming for. In terms of the racing,
When did that exact plan start?
Well, probably like 10 months ago.
10 months
little
ago.
before we made the drink, yeah.
Are you ahead of schedule?
We're further ahead of schedule, yeah. We're probably 12 months ahead of where we thought we'd be, which is quite good. Just means we're recruiting people every day, but that's part of the process, and that's another thing to learn: recruiting people. How do you get a culture? How do you get the right culture? How do you get them? I think the hardest thing for us as a startup is
That's a great point.
our wavelength is we've all got to want to work 28 hours a day if there was. And not because you're paid to, but because you want to. And to get that culture in a startup is tough. But I think we need to all be on 110% to make this work. Like you said, we're against the biggest brands in the world. They've got thousands of people in a pocket full of money. So the only way we'll do it is on passion and ethic in getting that word of mouth. So something I struggle with is how do you recruit those people? And we've got 10 fantastic people now which are really behind the brand and they feel the culture. But to build that and get another 10, it's going to be tough.
I think we should do this again, mate. I think we should maybe just after Christmas,
Yeah,
January.
yeah.
I think it'd be quite good just to, as you're fairly local anyway, I think
Yeah.
we should get a regular
Yeah, for
slot
sure. Yeah,
in.
it'd be nice to see the journey through.
Just because I feel like today was just kind of getting to know each other and getting to know your story, but I feel like there'd be a lot we could possibly share and just growing, you know. You don't get, I was going to use the word entrepreneur.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
ask, do you see yourself as an entrepreneur?
The only thing I don't
And
like.
what is an entrepreneur to you?
Yeah, I mean, entrepreneur to me, I would call my father an entrepreneur. He's started many different businesses. He's had a few fail, and he's reworked many different businesses into successful businesses. I'd say that is entrepreneurial. I guess the reason I don't necessarily call myself that this day and age is it's become a bit of a, you know, like
say
you know,
it, say it.
you know, like
say it.
you know, like
Oh, he's got his fingers out.
you know, like a fitness guru was like everyone was a fitness guru.
Yeah.
Suddenly, everyone on Instagram is an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm not really bothered with what I am, but I'm doing this. So
Yeah. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
The word has been ruined.
it's been ruined a bit. Yeah, I guess I've started a business in a tough environment with a new idea, so I guess it fits into that category. Yeah.
Entrepreneur. But anyway, bro, what's next for you? Where are you racing? What's the racing
next
plan?
is-
How far in the season are you?
We're pretty far through now. I think we've got 3 events left. So really far through. I've got 5 left in my career this year. I've got Liddon Hill this weekend, which is in the UK. It's a British event. So just going to go have some fun and race that in an old car I used to race.
How far?
Liddon is Kent.
Kent.
Yeah. But then what we'll finish racing there Monday night. The morning after, the Tuesday, we will drive to France, which is the next FIA World Rallycross, northern France, in a place called Loillac. Lovely little place. Like they get 80,000 people in this little French village
No
watching.
way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
To watch Rallycross?
To watch it, yeah. So the whole banks is just lined with thousands of.
That's
French
amazing.
people. It's pretty cool. It's one of the special events, really. So we've got that one, and then we drive straight to Poland, Warsaw, the same week for what's called Gymkhana, which is a little bit of a different motorsport. Started by Ken Block, the guy who made DC and then turned rally driver and different things. So he's made this series called Gymkhana, which basically is a big car park. We put some obstacles in it and you do donuts around them. And the first one back to the start. So it's a bit like a boy racer type racing environment. But that's super, super fun, really relaxed. It's just have a great laugh, burn some rubber. And then we move from there to Latvia. So Latvia's the next one after that. And that's going to be a fun one for us. It is. The flights are dirt cheap. The hotels are great and not a lot of money. So we're taking the whole Xite team. So that's going to be their first little celebration trip, I guess. And we're going to go abroad and then we're going to come and watch that, which will be super fun. And after Latvia, we've got a little bit of a rest before South Africa. That is the final one.
South Africa,
So, yeah.
man, how much does it cost to take your car over to
yeah.
South Africa?
Well, it's IMG, the promoter of the series, and they do the logistics between the events, apart from the events we can drive to. But the flyaways, they do that out of their budget, I guess, we're really lucky because, yeah, I don't know how much it would cost to ship cars to these places.
Wow.
Absolute fortune. So
That's crazy, man. So what do you do? How long is the off season?
it's not actually that long because we get back to South Africa. The car gets back end of November. We've got 3 months, I guess.
End of
till
November. So
we got December, January, February. So the guys have got 8, 9, 10, 12 weeks to fix the car before February, March it starts again. So not long.
Awesome, man. I just want to say thank you for your time.
Thank you, mate.
That's a wrap. And to everybody, make sure you do hit that big red button, subscribe, follow us on all social medias, follow Ollie on social media. You're going to be able to find it all over my Instagram anyway. Thank you to Gadget Line for filming this, of course. And yeah, see you in the next episode. Peace. Where did you do cheerleading? It's not really a thing you hear of, is it, really?
No, it's really new in the UK, really. But Phoenix All Stars in Longwell Green.
Okay.